Good evening. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order for the BZA. All rise for the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We're kind of filling in here tonight. Last minute, our president, Melissa, had a death in her family, and her mother had some surgery, so we're going to make the best of this tonight, so we'll make it work. With that being said, how about a roll call, please?
Melissa Mullins-Mishke.
She's absent.
Dwayne Hogan.
Here.
Greg Zabala.
Here.
Earl Cunningham.
Here.
Glenn Minnick.
Here. Thank you. How about approval for the meeting minutes from May 21st? That are mighty outstanding, I might add.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion. We approve the minutes as presented.
For a second?
Second. I agree with the president's statement there. Best minutes I've seen in years and years.
A long time, yeah.
Very good job.
Any questions, comments, or concerns? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So carried. Thanks. All right, petition number 1 this evening. It's a petition for a variance of a developmental standard for Toby and Jennifer Schweitzer for construction of a third accessory structure. It's 60 feet by 230 feet with an indoor horse arena for personal use with a height of 20 foot instead of a maximum of 18 feet. This property is located 4059 North, 350 East. That's down in Rolling and Kankakee. Petition number 1. It's going to be 60 by 230.
120.
Okay.
It says 120.
This is 230.
Yes, that's what we needed.
Yeah, you have everything else.
Yep. That's adequate.
Thank you. I noticed the correction already. Okay, your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Toby Schweitzer, 4059 North, 350 East, Rolling Prairie, Indiana.
Okay, thank you. Toby, and what else did you want to do this evening?
We're just looking to build a barn big enough to fit all 5 horses. We have a barn that only suits 4. We'd also like to have an indoor riding arena so we can ride more during inclement weather and stuff like that.
Okay. For this stable, is it going to be used for rent it out or
No.
just personal use and yourself? I mean, boarding horses out of it or anything?
No, we already have 5, and that's enough.
That's not so bad. Yeah, not renting, not boarding. So the petition is actually for the property, the height.
What kind of structure is it that you're
It's
building?
just a pole barn.
Just a pole barn.
Yeah. It's going to have 5 stalls, concrete pad, and the rest will all be sand. And hopefully in the winter I can fit my horse trailer in there.
And your variance is for the 20 feet, basically, instead of the 18 feet. It's going to be high enough to support it.
Yeah.
For that.
Well,
Yeah, maybe mine must be a type, but mine does say 60 by 230.
It is also a third building,
The original app.
correct? Third accessory structure
Yes.
is what the variance is for.
yeah. Well, the other barn will have to come down, but
All right. Any questions or concerns of the board?
Color quoted to match the house to the pole barn, or are you going to?
to be honest, we haven't decided, but more than likely, yeah, just so the rest of them match.
Okay. Are there any remonstrators here tonight for petition number 1? All right, you want to have a seat?
Yeah.
You guys want to come to the front, please? Your name and address for the record, please.
Joe Gorski, 4026 North, 350 East,
Okay.
Rolling Prairie, Indiana.
Barbara.
And Barbara.
Okay. Go ahead.
We're here. 2 months ago, the horses got out and he brought a rope. I had a rope there and he brought the rope back to our house. Toby did. And he started telling us what he's going to do. He's going to put up this horse stable.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to rent the stalls out. And his wife's going to give riding lessons so that he can take in money so he don't have to work in the winter when it's cold. A couple of years ago, he told me that too. And I told him, this is residential property. You can't have commercial here. So I think that's why he's got on there for personal use. I don't know for sure, but that's my opinion. And he's got 4 barns. This is going to be the 4th barn, not 3. He put one up last year because he took in a stallion, and he's boarding a stallion. And he's got mares. I mean, he's got mares. So he can't put them together. So this deal, I just don't understand what's going on. And another thing is, she gives riding lessons now already with no building. That's fine. We know it. But we don't have this big building where everybody can see it. Because we called up countywide, the real estate, and we asked them, is that going to bother us, because we put a new home up there. I've been there 55 years. And we sold the old house, put a new house up, and we figured that's going to be our, like, if we have to go to assisted living, then the house can go up in value, and it's going to cost more to go to assisted living too. So we'll just have that for ace in a hole. Well, they told us, well, when people come over there and look at it, and they see this great big horse barn, the amount of people that are interested in you, it gets smaller because a lot of people don't want to be with the smell and the flies and all that stuff. So our value is going to go down. That's the only reason why I'm worried about it. And then Ann was over with another
petition.
Oh, Ann came over and there was a guy with her, and I told him what was going on, and because the electric company had it going right by the road. That's where the man said, I'm giving him an estimate for electric. It would have been closer to my house than his house. So in the meantime, we what was I going to say now? Oh, yeah. So the man that was with Ann, I don't know his name. I forgot his name that was with you. And he said, why don't you check with the neighbors? So I did. I wrote up a little deal here, just what you guys sent me. It's a petition that we're against it. 12 signatures. And I didn't beg them.
Present that to the attorney, please.
I didn't beg them either. See, that wording, personal use, what does that mean? Like a question. How many is personal? All my friends? You can open a business up and say it's personal. And what does that pertain to? We tried to get that last time.
Okay. Any other comments? We'll take those under advisement. Okay, you have a seat. Are there any other remonstrators this evening for petition number 1? Any other remonstrators for petition number 1? Tobe, we'll come back up.
Yeah, when we originally started looking at putting the barn up, the barn was going to be the front section of our home. But as you can see by the photo of where we've moved it now, it'll be roughly 200 feet to the west of our house. So I don't know where he got. Yeah. And then as far as the boarding a stallion, he's actually our horse, so we took him in as a rescue. The previous owner was diagnosed with cancer. She's unable to take care of the 7 horses that she has. We took 2 of them, one for us, and another gentleman took one to his house. So I don't know where he's coming off with the stallion not being ours, but yes, we do have a stallion, and that makes number 5. So
you haven't asked or petitioned for any adjustment to the number of horses that are allowed, and I confirmed with Doug, you have 5 acres, you're allowed 5 horses.
Correct.
So, I mean, going beyond that,
exactly.
He would need to report something, but
we have
that's
5
acceptable
horses,
in LaPorte County on 5 acres is 5 horses. It should be able to keep the vegetation growing and
right. Well, To be honest, there's only 4 at our house right now. My wife's horse, she's lent it out to a friend of the family for 4-H. It is at a previous barn, on a small road. So technically, there's only 4 horses at our house, and that's the way it's been for 2 years now.
And actually putting up this riding arena and having the space is going to, bring the horses indoors more and less outdoors. And
correct. Right. So,
are you going to turn to some type of small business then for stables and riding or anything? Or
no,
that's not true. Okay.
No.
All right. Any questions or concerns?
One question. He said that this will be your 4th accessory building.
Well, we bought the house with a lean-to, shed, and the other horse barn. Well, once we got that stallion last October, obviously, we can't put him with the other horses. So I put up an 8x8 shed, or lean-to, out on that section. And once he gets his stall, he can, a barn big enough for the 5 of them. I could separate him at night with, the rest, and he'll have his portion plus a stall, and then they'll have their portion with their stalls. But right now, I have a 4-stall barn.
So at that time, you would tear down the lean-to?
Tear down the lean-to and another barn, yes, because I no longer need it.
There are total 3 buildings there, right?
Yeah.
When you're done.
Correct.
Okay, you're going to remove a barn and the lean-to when you get the new barn finished.
Correct.
Earl, I think this one picture here is what he's talking about. An 8x8 shed is actually not considered an accessory structure.
Right.
Correct, Anne Marie?
He's going to remove it anyway.
But he's going to remove it. But it
because I won't need it.
Somebody having a garden shed, we don't count that as an accessory structure if it's under,
12 by 12,
144 square feet.
Yeah, it was just something for him to get out of the weather during the winter time. Because we have a 30 by 40 barn right now, and that's it for the horses. And that's not suitable for 5 animals.
You're going to put water, electric in these?
I plan to, yes.
Right. Bathroom, septic,
No.
and then just water, electric?
Yeah.
Okay, let's make sure we understand it. The commitments, I think I've heard you say, no, you're not going to be boarding other people's horses.
Correct.
You won't be running a business.
Correct.
You'll tear down 2 buildings when this barn is done.
Correct.
Anything else I missed there, Glenn? And our attorney advises us that with 5 acres, you're entitled to 5 horses anyway.
5 acres. Anything missing? You're right. Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
Do you want to make the motion, huh?
Mr. President, I would move that we grant petition for variance of developmental standards for Toby H. and Jennifer L. Schweitzer for construction of a 3rd accessory structure 60 feet by 120 with an indoor horse arena for personal use, emphasis on personal, with a height of 20 feet instead of the maximum 18. Property is located at 4059 North, 350 East, Rolling Prairie, Indiana, Kankakee Township, zoned R1B on 5 acres. And these following restrictions: there will be no boarding of non-owned horses with a limit of 5 on the 5 acres. There will be no business run out of the new barn. And 2 buildings will be removed from the property when the new barn is completed, within a reasonable time of the new barn completed.
Right.
Could you add to include water and electric in the barn?
And this will include water and electric.
That's correct.
Okay, motion, have a second?
I'll second.
Any questions, comments, concerns, clarifications? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Passed. Thank you.
It's a question.
That's it. I can't get it now. It's over. Okay. Any questions? You can get it with Annie.
Well, I just want to know what personal use is. That's all I want to hear from the attorney. So it's on record. What is personal use?
Business. The board's made its decision. We're moving on to the next one. If you want to talk afterward, I can, but we can't. There's no public discussion.
For this one.
So you're not going to clarify personal use?
If you want to talk after the meeting, we can. But
Sir, I tried it last meeting and you wouldn't talk.
as a point of order,
Right.
there's no public comment. You're out of order right now. We're moving on to the next petition. I'd be more than happy to talk to you. I didn't want to talk to you last time because we hadn't heard anything yet.
Now we heard.
Okay?
We couldn't discuss it
Right,
last
so you
time.
can see them afterwards. Okay, with all that being said, petition number 2 this evening is a petition for a variance of a developmental standard for Sean and Lisa Smartelli to construct a second resident structure on the same parcel as petitioned to care for their parents. This property is located at 3421 North Wozniak Road, Cool Spring, in Michigan City, the Cool Spring Township, and that's on 1.9 acres. Petition number 2 this evening.
In a wide area here.
2. Your legal work for our attorney, please. Yeah, that's almost 2 acres there.
Yeah.
Should have to Glenn, as we were talking about earlier, they're president. Yeah. I don't know if we can really do it that way.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you. Hi, name and address for the record, please.
Okay, Lisa Smartelli, 3421 North Wozniak Road, Michigan City, Indiana.
Listen, what do you want to do this evening?
We're looking at building on our property so that we can be the caregivers of my parents.
Of your parents?
Of my parents, my mother and my father. They lived in Michigan City their entire life. We wanted them, as we grew older, they took care of my children, their grandchildren, not my grandchildren. We wanted them to take an opportunity after our children were a little bit more independent to travel a little bit. So they moved in with my sister so that they could travel to places like California, etc. And now they're ready to come back to live out the rest of their years with us.
Sure. All right. So who's doing the building on this one?
I gave the information.
I see it right here.
Judy Ginther at LP Housing Specialist.
Questions?
Bill, I do have a question.
Yes, sir.
Have you considered septic location?
Yes. When I came in here, I talked to the health department, and I talked to the gentleman on the 5th floor who does the septic and the well, which is why we're looking at putting the home in the back of the property, which is on the northwest side of the property, because we will be able to put in a brand new septic and well for my parents.
So you felt assured that you've got plenty of room for both?
Absolutely.
How about questions or concerns of the board? Hear none?
Parcel is nearly 2 acres, almost 2 acres.
Are there any remonstrators here this evening for petition number 2? Remonstrators for petition number 2. Any further questions of the board? If not, what's our pleasure?
I mean, this is what we look for when people are looking to, make room for adults with their parents. Looks like it's being done right. For that reason, I'd like to make a motion that the petition for variance of developmental standards for Sean and Lisa, help me with the name.
Smartelli.
There you go. To construct a second residential structure on the same parcel to care for their parents. The property is located at 3421 North Wozniak Road, Michigan City, Indiana, on 1.9 acres.
Have a motion, give a second.
Second.
Any other questions or concerns? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? There you go. Good luck.
Good luck.
Looks nice. Nice looking place.
Thank you.
Petition number 3 this evening is a petition for a variance of developmental standards for Judith Mania to construct an additional 24 by 16 detached garage with setbacks of 8 feet and 6 inches instead of the minimum required 10 feet. This property is located at 99 Chaffee Ave, LaPorte, Center Township, zoned R1B. Petition number 3. Petition number 3.
Mr. President, I move that we move this to the bottom of the agenda if nobody's here. Hopefully they'll get here before the meeting's over.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed to the bottom. Petition number 4 this evening is a petition for a variance of the developmental standard for Robert and Carolyn Vander Bremen for construction of an accessory building 160 square feet that will contain a bathroom, kitchenette, and attached pavilion for 216 feet of overall height and 16 feet. Of 16 feet. This property is located at 7874 East Potato Hole Court. That's in New Carlisle, Wills Township, and is zoned ag. Petition number 4 this evening. You're up. Oh, yeah. Barely. Just got it.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you. Good evening. Name and address for the record, please.
It's Bob Vendramin and Carolyn Vendramin. We're at 7874 East Potato Hole Court, New Carlisle, Indiana, 46552.
Good. Thank you. Sorry for butchering your name. Vendramin. Okay, and what is it you want to do this evening?
What we want to do is we just installed a pool, an in-ground pool, and we want to put a accessory building that has water and a bathroom in that building. The building is a continuous structure, but on the south side it has a timber frame that's open. It's about 216 square feet. I know in the agenda it said 216 feet. Yeah, it's not that long. But then the enclosed structure is 10 by 16, and that enclosed structure would of course have the bathroom and the kitchenette in it. Yeah.
Sure, I understand.
How many accessory buildings do you have now?
None.
None? Yeah, I think they're only for water.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the only variance here is the water.
Right. I agree. Are there any remonstrators here this evening for petition number 4? Any remonstrators? Further questions or concerns of the board?
What's the correct square footage again?
In total,
Just give me the correct building dimensions. I don't forget.
the open structure is 216 square feet, and then the enclosed structure is 160 square feet, but they're all adjoined in one structure.
Under one. Yeah.
Right.
It's a pleasure of the board.
I'll make a motion. I make a motion that the petition for developmental standards for water and electric to be contained in an accessory building of 160 square feet with a porch of 216 square feet be granted for Robert and Carolyn
Vendramin.
property is located at 7874 East Potato Hole Court, New Carlisle.
I have a motion of a second.
Second.
Any questions or concerns? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There you go. Good luck. Looks real nice.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Petition number 5 this evening is petition for a variance of developmental standard for Bruce and Patricia Dement to construct an accessory structure to the side of the home instead of the rear with a height of 22 feet instead of the maximum requirement of 18 feet. This property is located at 7101 West, 125 North. That's in the Cool Spring Township, and it's on 8.7 plus acres. Petition number 5.
This was a lot of sweet properties.
This is a nice thing. Yeah. It's going to be like, oh, this is the building. Is it? Yeah. That's all.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you.
I don't think so. I think this.
Name and address for the record, please.
Robert Dement, 7101 West, 125 North, LaPorte.
In Cool Spring Township. Like that, okay.
And Patricia Martin Dement.
Thank you. What is it you want to do this evening?
I'm sorry?
What is it you want to do this evening?
I'd like to get a variance for building a garage, excuse me, even with the house instead of setback, and we want a little bit of a height variance as well. It'd be a two-car garage with a second story. I have a lovely relationship with my wife. If I collect any more treasures, I think that may change. So I need some storage space.
You want to ask for it to be any bigger?
I'm sorry?
Never mind. I'm making it bigger. Okay. I have a question for you, though, if you approach for just a second.
Yes.
What is this that's roped off right here in the front?
Oh, we're thinking about doing some landscape.
Okay.
Go ahead. Because it's to the left.
No
It's,
problem.
Garage.
yeah, I mean, I saw some marks and.
We're just kind of looking at that when it popped up and going,
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of very exactly.
I think Annie has a picture. This is the site.
Yeah.
It is landscape.
Right.
Any questions or concerns of the board?
So we understand the garage is going to be essentially, what is that? To the left of the house? So we understand the garage will be to the left of the house?
Yes, it'll be to the left of the house,
Well, I mean, electric's
in the driveway.
We will. Are you going to put water in there as well?
Water, but no sanitation. There'll be no
Is water electric?
just water for gardening.
Okay. Small cleanup sink or something, yeah.
Right.
Okay. Are there any remonstrators here this evening for petition number 5? Petition number 5, any remonstrators? Further questions, concerns of the board?
You say just water. I assume you want electricity.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry.
I assume you want electricity.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Let me
I just want to clarify, because all the board members saying, we don't need a variance for electricity, it's just the water.
Right. When you said just water,
Oh, yeah.
that didn't make sense because you're going to have an electric garage door.
Yeah, we're not fooling it. Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
No remonstrators?
No remonstrators. No, it looks nice. It's a beautiful piece of property.
It was an extremely nice property.
Yes.
We toured it. Just looks like all of you can landscape. Mr. President, I'd make a move that we approve the petition for variance of developmental standards for Bruce and Patricia Dement to construct an accessory structure to the side of the home instead of the rear with a height of 22 feet instead of the 18-foot. This property is located at 7101 West, 125 North, LaPorte, Indiana, Cool Spring Township. It's on 8.702 acres.
Motion, have a second?
Second.
Any questions, clarifications, concerns?
With water and electricity.
Yes, sir. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Here you go. Good luck. That's very nice. Petition 6 for this evening is a petition for the variance of developmental standard for John and Cheryl Benito for construction of a second accessory and the placement to the side of the home instead of the rear. This property is located at 9459 North, 500 West, Michigan City. That's in Springfield. Zoned R1B. It's on 3 acres. Petition number 6.
I don't know that I saw the. What is this? Oh, I guess the garage is detached.
Yeah.
You don't notice it.
No, you don't. Get up on it.
I don't know how their septic is working.
How it is?
Water.
Oh, yeah.
Water.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you. Your name and address for the record, please.
John and Cheryl Baeto, 9459 North, 500 West, Michigan City, Indiana.
Thank you very much. And what do you want to do this evening?
I want to get a petition to put up a pole barn instead of behind my house on the side.
Okay. And the size of this pole barn is?
It's 30 by 42.
30 by 42. To the side. Will it line up with the front of the house to the side?
It'll be just behind the front of the house.
Just behind?
Yeah.
It's going to come up past the front of the house.
Is it going to?
It looks like it.
The other way?
Yeah.
I mean, we're clearing the site. It looks like it's going to be
a little bit.
A little bit front.
Excuse me.
They're clearing right here.
Oh, so it's going to be this way.
Yeah. Kind of like, maybe you can see here a little bit.
Yeah, he's got 3 acres.
Yeah. Right.
3 acres.
You gonna put water and electric in it?
Just electric.
Just electric?
Mr. President, I'd like to read this into the record from the Department of the Army Technical Services Division. Subject to regional general permit authorization for the construction of a barn at 9459 North 500 West of Michigan City. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Chicago District has completed its review of your notification for authorization under the regional general permit under Section 10 of the Rivers and Harbors Act 1899 and Section 404 of the Clean Water Act. The Chicago, Louisville, and Detroit districts reissued regional general permits on December 15th, 2014 for certain activities having minimal impacts in Indiana. We have verified that your proposed work shown on the submitted plans and described below is authorized under the RGP. Verification covers only your activity as described in the notification dated February 9th of 2019. This verification expires 3 years from the date indicated above. It says place 177 cubic yards of clean sand in a 40-foot by 60-foot area to construct a pole barn. Total wetland impact will be 107 acre. All work is to be completed as shown on the drawing submitted and to be accepted by our office. Authorization is contingent upon implementing and maintaining appropriate soil erosion and sediment control measures in a serviceable condition throughout the duration of the project. Any construction activity other than that shown on the plans may not qualify for the regional permit. If your plans change or additional activities from these depicted on submitted plans, please submit them to this office for further review. Please note this authorization is without force and effect until all other permits and authorizations from local, state, and federal agencies are secured. For any additional information on the RGP, please visit our website. And the reason for the location is because of some wetland mitigation. Correct.
Yes.
Thank you.
We had a mitigation done.
I just had that clarified right away. Are there any of you monster raiders here tonight for petition number 6? Your monster raiders for petition number 6. Questions, concerns of the board?
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Will you have any money left to put rocks in the driveway?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
I know. The water is something else.
Yeah, it can be sometimes. It's all this rain has been rough.
Real rough.
Okay.
What's our pleasure?
Well, since he's got money left to fix the dam, I'd like to make a motion to petition for variance of developmental standards for John and Cheryl Baedo to construct a second accessory structure placed on the side of the home instead of the rear. The property is located at 9459 North, 500 West, Michigan City, Indiana. The structure is to be 30 by 42.
Have a motion of a second.
Second.
Further questions, concerns? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Good luck. Thank you. You're welcome. Petition number 7 this evening is a petition for a variance for use for Peniche Heating and Cooling is the buyer, and Tommy Liggins is the seller to run a heating and cooling business in the existing structure. This property is located at 4666 North Johnson Road, Michigan City, Indiana, the Cool Spring Township, zoned R1B. It's on 2.3 plus acres. Petition number 7.
You probably know this. Competition issues.
Was a throwback picture there.
That's adequate. Thank you, sir. Good evening. Name and address for the record.
Mark and Sherry Peniche, 5076 North Black Road, Michigan City.
Thanks, Mark. Sherry. Glad to see you guys. So what are you going to do tonight, Mark?
Considering purchasing the building at the
Loggins building?
Yeah, to run our business out of. Basically, it's about the same as what Loggins Tree Serve. Yeah, what Loggins Tree Serve has done for the last 10 years.
Okay.
No retail, just a shop and basically just a shop and offices.
Similar to what you have at home now, basically? Yep. Okay, same thing. Are there any monsters here this evening for petition number 7? Monsters? Oh, you want to have a seat? Do you want to come up? I don't know. I can't do much. Hi there.
Hi,
Name and address for the record, please.
Joyce and Brian Dean, 2774 North Gold Ring Road, LaPorte, Indiana.
Okay, Joyce, what's up?
Well, the property they're talking about, I'm on two sides of it, the back of it and the side of it. And A1 Loggings, we've been in there multiple times and asked them to remove their stuff off my property. When my husband's passed away, so that's why my son's here with me.
And also, they had a fence up, and they took the fence down before they sell the property. Want that stuff removed, and that fence put back up.
My brother gave me permission to take my fence down. He had no right to do that.
And then they started putting a wood fence in the back, trying to separate our property. But with all the wood grown over, it knocked the fence over. So we got cars in half of our property. Our property,
big logs.
We want all that removed before we even think about selling it.
We'll take an advisement. Anything else?
No.
All right. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Any other remonstrators this evening for petition number 7? Hey, Mark, sure. By chance, you know anything about a fence? No. Okay. Logs in the property, anything like that? Yeah, something you can talk with Tommy about before you figure out what you're going to do?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, this was the big thing, whether we even bought the properties, whether, we had to make sure that we could have our business in it just like he did. So we haven't had it.
I'll stay here a little bit.
I imagine if it was sold, that they would stay in.
This is what we're looking at.
I mean, you could certainly make it.
There's just the logs and this property here and this stuff here. This is just for the deans. Yeah.
I just had to make that condition of the purchase and keep stuff off there.
That was one thing we talked about, is that he had to get rid of all everything. So that would take care of that.
Log it out and get rid of it,
Are you getting the stake survey as well?
I'm sure the bank's going to require.
Yeah, they will. For that, they will. Yeah. Just call someone and punch 4 sticks at them.
Yeah. Do you really need a fence? According to Doug, we can make our candidate kind of clean it up and get the variance. Right, which means that you're going to pass that on to the seller. onto your cellar.
Sure.
So,
Right.
That's just a condition of purchase.
Maybe it's probably an advantage if you have a fence.
Where was that? Where's the fence? Right here?
There was a fence there, it's not down the back.
See that somebody giving them permission to take the fence down. That might be kind of hard.
Can we have our demonstrators come back up again, please?
I'm sure.
That was required.
Yeah, I'm sure they could. So this was our first step.
Joyce?
Can we have you look at this picture for us? Okay, in an aerial view, it looks to us like this is the property line. We can see lawn and stuff on your side of the property. That's what you're talking about.
This look at fence here. See what's going building?
Yeah.
Let's look at fence from there. Yeah, they got a fence. They cut this property fence all the way. All this is gone. And then pull it here and that driveway. So that's what driveway did.
So what you want is everything off your property, which they agree with. There's no problem. Yeah. The next, right. And the next question is, do you really want a fence there? They're not going to have wood in there.
No.
No, we don't need a fence there. Their property.
Do you want everything off your property?
Yeah, but we do want this fence back up.
You want the northern fence?
Right, because they took that down.
Okay.
So we want that back up to the fence in the back. The only thing on that, because those cars, see this stuff is cars.
Right.
These are wood over here, this is cars over here.
Right.
It's happening the wrong way. Our driveway, if we have to turn it toward this one, back to
Right. We get this cleaned up here though. It's not a problem. But you do want another fence reinstalled?
Three barbed wire.
Three barbed wire fence.
Once I was?
That's it.
That's it.
Thank you very much.
On the backside too, or just the?
This backside don't need it.
We just put the wood and everything. I mean, we're not here to cause a problem.
Yeah, no.
How many feet would you say that? Three rooms had it.
How many feet is it?
How many feet would you say that is in the back?
Brian, how
The
much?
fence on the
That over the property line?
No. The length of the fence.
Just, the easiest way to do this is to ask for a fence on the northern side of the property from the back.
Say about 500 feet.
What do you think is that far?
Yeah, because it's
Quite a ways.
It's about right here where they stopped the tile from there. So there was no fence now.
And all it was two strands of barbed wire?
And they took the post off. And then they've been taking the bobcat through back here into our property. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. No.
I can see removal of wood.
Yeah. The fence is push.
He agrees with that, but I don't think we need that in the motion.
No.
You're not going to have the same things there that he has anyway. It's totally different. You're not going to probably park your vehicles as close to the property line as he does, because you want them up by the building.
We did have an agreement, just everything's verbal right now as far as the purchase, but one of the main things was he had to get rid of all
that wood.
Everything had to be cleaned up, so it's just nothing, anything, nothing was going to be left.
Exactly.
But so the fence part, I mean, so I'm not clear about that. He got permission to take it down, and
But you said, who gave him permission to take the fence down?
My uncle.
Robert Henrich.
Oh, he gave him permission. I didn't say about that.
It's just, since there's a possibility of a dispute as to whether the fence was properly taken down, I don't think that's connected with this variance request. He can ask the property be cleaned up.
Oh, yeah.
But to make that a condition of the variance, I don't think that's really a subject to this board's jurisdiction.
Yeah. Were there any other remonstrators, petition number 7? Any further clarifications here for the board?
Yeah, I've got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know Dwayne usually asks this question, and this building already exists, but is it going to be big enough?
for us, oh yeah, I'd hope so.
Compared to what you have now.
Right, yeah.
It's been bigger, yeah.
Yeah, we've outgrown where we're at.
I'm so glad to hear you say that too. That's good. You should have thrived very well.
26 years, so it's fine.
Doing well with it.
Yeah.
You guys should be commended for that.
Basically, looking at it from an aerial view, if he cleans up everything close to the property line, which you want it off there anyway, you want a clean line, there may not be any need for a fence back there because everything's going to be so much closer to the existing building.
Yeah.
They're going to put their vehicles in the building. That's why they want the building.
Yeah, it'll look nice anyway. It'd be a hell of an improvement.
It needs work, but
yes.
yeah, right, but yeah.
What's the pleasure of the board of this?
President. I would move that we grant the petition for variance of use for Phoenicia Heating and Cooling buyer and Thomas Loggins seller to run a heating and cooling business in the existing structure, which is now Loggins logging business, basically. This property is located at 4666 North Johnson Road, Michigan City, Indiana, Cool Spring Township, on 2.32 acres. And
with the stipulation
that all of the property lines be completely cleaned up.
Thanks, Bill. All right, motion of a second.
Second.
Any questions or clarifications needed? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Good luck. Thank you. Petition number 8 this evening is a petition for a variance of developmental standard for Doreen Pizzato and Robert Schleier and Diana Denise Grasser to construct an accessory structure 44 by 32 with a front setback of 12 feet instead of the minimum of 25 feet, with a height of 22 feet instead of the 18 feet. Replace the existing building. This property is located at 7387 North Boyer Ave. That's in LaPorte, Galena, and it's on 1 acre.
No, it's adequate.
Thank you. Name and address for the record, please.
Daniel Grasser, 7383 North Schleier Drive.
All right, Dan. Good evening. What did you want to do tonight?
I want to take down the existing 1.5 car garage that was put up in the 50s, and then we put up a shed, like a garden shed, about 20 years ago. And I can't use them anymore because of the mold and the raccoons. But I want to replace that with a 3-car garage, basically for 2 cars, and a camper.
44 by 32?
44 by 32. And then there's a covered concrete pad over on the north side that's 8 by 32.
Okay. And 22 feet high for the camper, RV, whatever?
He's thinking 21 something, but he just said round up to 22, so.
All right. Sounds good. Water, electric in it?
No water, just electric.
Okay.
And then we're going to run gas to it for a heater. We'll keep it heated.
Camper. That's good. Any initial questions from the board? For the entering
one. So, but why not put it? Why aren't we putting it back where it's not?
Well, the original garage is 2 feet from the road. I can only imagine that all the aunts and uncles that built the Tea Lake properties did that because it's such a steep drop off on the back. So if I put it back a full 25 feet, then I'm like down the hill. So if I just put it back to where the front of the shed is now, that's 12 feet off the property line, plus another probably 3 feet off of the gravel side of the road. That gets it back off the road because I don't want to get that close.
Otherwise, you got to do a lot of fill. And
and I plow
a lot of mature trees. And
I really don't want to have to hit the garage when I plow, but it's not a problem now. So,
right. Good answer. Are there any remonstrators tonight for petition number 8? Remonstrators for petition number 8. Further questions, concerns of the board? Hearing none, what's our pleasure?
I'll make a motion. We accept the variance of developmental standards for Doreen Pizzato, Robert Schleier, and Denise Grasser to construct an accessory structure 44 feet by 32 feet and with a front setback of 12 feet instead of the minimum required 25 feet, with a height of 22 feet instead of the maximum required of 18 feet, replacing the 2 existing structures. This property is located across from the home at 7387 North Boyer Avenue, LaPorte, Galena Township, zoned R1A.
All right. We have a motion. We have a second?
I'll second.
Any clarifications or corrections needed? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Petition number 9 this evening is a petition for developmental standard for Roger and Michelle Hartford. Heffert, yeah.
That's right, maybe.
For the construction of an above-ground pool to the west side of their home instead of the rear due to the family member's disability. This property is located at 3021 West Small Road, LaPorte. That's the center. It's zoned R1B, and you got almost 2 acres there. Petition number 9, you're up.
It's way back there.
I know.
Pronounce your last name for us.
Heffright.
That's right. You did too bad on it. Let's say for the houses to the rear.
Notice accurate.
Thank you. Name and address, please.
Roger and Michelle Heffright, 3021 West Small Road, LaPorte.
Thanks, Roger. What do you want to do tonight?
I want to put up a pool in front of our house, or side of our house.
Yeah, what size pool are you looking at?
30 foot above ground.
30 foot. How deep are you going to go with it?
It's
whatever the standard
Yeah,
is,
whatever
4 or 5 foot. I think it's
whatever.
95 foot. It won't be dug into the ground.
Okay.
To make it deeper.
And you want it to the west side of the home instead of the rear due to your disability.
right, because if it was on the back side of the house, I couldn't watch the kids. Being on that's because I got a 42 foot attached garage. If it was on the back side, I wouldn't be able to see from the house.
Your house. I mean, I'm sorry we even have to come in and do this. I mean, this variance is
pretty.
This ordinance is put in place because of small subdivisions where the pool is going to not be attractive for a neighbor, and you don't have a neighbor beside you. You're back so far, no one's even going to know what's going on. So it's not really that big of an issue.
Are there any remonstrators here tonight for petition number 9? Remonstrators for petition number 9? Further questions of the board? Oh, somebody coming up? Remonstrator? You want to just go ahead and slide over for a little bit? Name and address for the record, please.
Gladys Gordon.
Pull this mic for you.
Gladys Gordon.
Just pull it.
Oh, pull it.
There you go.
Sorry. My name is Gladys Gordon. My husband Edward. We're neighbors of Roger and Michelle. And our question is, where exactly will they be placing the pool? On the west side of his property or near our property where our land slopes down? He's filling in portions of his property at this point.
I'm going to come up, maybe this will help. Rough drawing shows 40 foot from the property line to the driveway, and the pool sitting basically in the front yard. See where the porch is on our house?
There's not, yeah.
No water.
No.
Understand.
It's going to be on this side.
On that side.
That makes sense to you?
No, but I think they did.
Yeah, I saw there's fill going on, and there's a sign about no fill or something. They're putting fill in a front wet area.
There's no concern, just water ran up on the south end of our property. No water.
To the west. To the west or the east.
Actually,
East.
Is this easier? Is that easier?
Near the water.
this is, you're looking up north.
This is your property on the west side. They're gonna put the pool out here. There's your house right there.
Yeah.
See, they're actually asking for a variance to put the pool in the front yard. What would you put it in the backyard? Because you can't see.
Sure.
So it's gonna be on this side. See their porch here?
Yeah. You flip her.
It's opposite your house. It's not on your side.
So it's
on the other side. It's facing
your house situation. Okay, that's right.
That makes sense. So it's on this side.
Small roads at the back of the page, you're facing it, so.
Who's north this way?
Oh, okay.
They're part of the problem in the backyard is their septic system.
Which would be facing their
And
house.
that would be on your side.
The other side, on the other
We're
side.
fine. We just wanted to be clear.
Well, that's good because they want to be good neighbors.
So there you go.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. Are there any other remonstrances this evening for petition number 9? All right. Board, what's our pleasure here for this, for Roger?
Mr. President?
Yes.
Go ahead, Glenn.
I'd like to make a motion that the variance for developmental standards for Roger and Michelle Heffright for construction of a ground pool to the west side of the home be granted instead of the rear. The property is located 3021 West, Small Road, LaPorte, on 1.9 acres.
Second.
Any questions or concerns? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? There you go. Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah. Petition number 11 tonight. Oh, I'm sorry, 10. Oh, you jumped up on me. Petition for a variance of developmental standard for Mark and Kathleen Blazer to construct a 2-story garage with a height of 24 feet 2 inches instead of the maximum requirement of 18 feet with a bathroom. This property is located 614 North Forster Road, LaPorte, the Cool Spring Township, and it's at 1.16 acres. Petition number 10. What's this here? Is this yours, Earl? Small road?
You want to see that one?
Yeah. This one.
Oh, that's this one.
This is half right.
Okay.
Digging it, this is a hill.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is adequate.
Thank you very much. Name and address for the record, please.
Mark and Kathleen Blazer, 219 Dogwood, Chesterton, Indiana. We hope to move to the property on Forester Road when she retires next year.
Okay, that's good. So what is it you want to do there on Forester Road?
We want to build a 3-car garage and then a woodworking shop upstairs. And we have to build it before we move because we have to have some place to put all the equipment that I have.
So how big is the garage going to be?
It's going to be 28 feet deep and 40 feet wide.
Okay, it's a good size. That's what was missing there. It's going to be 24.2 inches high. Roughly.
Not inches, feet.
24 feet.
Yeah.
Feet. Yeah, 2 inches. I'm sorry. Yeah, plus or minus a little bit in there. All right. Okay. take it it's going to be water and electric in there?
Yes, I want to have a toilet and a laundry sink upstairs. I'm not looking forward to climbing stairs as I get older, but the way the lot is, I don't think I have much choice.
The way that's drawn in there, I know. Okay. Are there any remonstrators here this evening for petition number 10? Any remonstrators for petition number 10? Questions, concerns of the board?
Are you going to have any money left for gravel?
No kidding.
A little bit. I wish I could build a pole barn. It'd be about 1/4 of the cost.
Yeah. Well, we're digging in like that.
That driveway is something else.
There's no way to know where to turn either. If you ever had an emergency there.
You need to get
I didn't think we were ever going to find it.
Yeah, it's secluded.
Nobody told
We got
us
to
that.
get an address up there on correction. We had to get to it. Yeah.
Yeah, there should probably be addresses on the pole there. There's one for 524, I believe.
Yeah, I think I saw that
and
one.
And then the other address.
I did not see a 614 though.
There are 6 homes back there, aren't there?
5.
And no addresses.
Yeah, there's just one address on the pole out there, and then the mailboxes are across the street.
Right.
I hope somebody sees the smoke.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Let's say because the fire department had to get out there, it'd be kind of rough.
They did once. The neighbors started a brush fire. Or leaves fire.
Well, fortunately, you got a very good fire department in your township to take care of that, but let's just make sure we get signs and addresses up there for it. So Cool Spring can handle that.
Who handles those green signs?
You can talk to the Cool Spring Volunteer Fire Department. They can set you up.
Right back there.
Chief's right behind you.
Raise your hand back there so he knows who you are. He get you one of those signs.
Just ask for him. Take care of that. No remonstrators that I saw. Any questions on the board? If not, what's our pleasure here, guys?
Mr. President, I would move that we approve the petition for variance of developmental standards for Mark and Kathleen Blazer to construct 2-story garage with a height of 24 feet and 2 inches instead of the maximum requirement of 18, and it will have a bathroom, water, and electricity. Property is located at 614 North Forester Road, LaPorte, Indiana, Cool Spring Township, zoned A on 1.16 acres.
Motion, have a second?
28 by 40. Give me the dimensions on the facility.
I'll second the motion.
Any questions, concerns, or clarifications? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed. There you go. Good luck. Give it the chief.
Have you alerted NIPSCO about their poles being 8 feet into that pond?
No, I haven't talked to
I
him.
think I would if I
Would be a good idea to make a phone call.
Yeah, transformers are hanging on them, the guy wires are underwater. There's no way there's any support there.
Needs to be looked at. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Moving along, now we're to petition number 11. Petition for a variance of developmental standard for Gregory J. Ake to add 2 bathrooms and a kitchenette in a recreational building to be used for personal use only. This building is in the process of being built. This property is located at 3616 West Waverly Road, LaPorte. That's over in center, Zone A, and it's got 8.5 acres. Petition number 11.
No, just adequate.
Thank you. Name and address for the record.
That's Greg Ake, and I live at 3556 West Waverly Road in LaPorte.
Yeah. I know, so I looked at this before. That is quite a topographical dimensions of property lines. Almost a bit. There's a lot to that property line.
Yeah, it goes up about 40 feet from Waverly Road where we put the building up on the high ground.
So what is it you want to do this evening?
We went to pull a permit for our well, and we were told we had to come here and get a variance. So that's why we're here.
You want to get a variance? Why?
Well, because we were putting bathrooms in there and a small kitchen area.
Okay. It's in a recreational building.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of.
Yep, that's a recreational building. What the size is this recreational building?
It's embarrassingly big. It's about 19,000 square feet.
How many?
19,000.
19,000, that's what I heard.
It is that.
But it is just a pole barn. A pretty one.
Yes, that is.
Nice.
That's very nice.
Nice driveway, too.
Yeah, it's getting better every day.
We saw a lot of nice driveways this month, didn't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any remonstrators here this evening for petition number 11? Remonstrators for petition number 11. Further concerns of the board? Questions?
No.
Greg, anything?
No, sir.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board then?
First, it's interesting you didn't ask if the thing was big enough.
Well, I think that's what
I heard you say that, and I thought
I bring it up every time. I think those are pretty good.
I'd like to make a motion that we grant the petition for a variance of developmental standards for Gregory J. Ake to add 2 bathrooms and a kitchenette in a recreational building to be used for personal use only. The building is located on the property of 3616 West Waverly Road, LaPorte, Indiana.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I just want to clarify your motion that the variance is to allow water in the building.
Yes.
Right. Sorry. Have a motion of a second?
Second.
Questions or concerns? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Good luck. Nice building.
Appreciate it.
You bet. Petition number 12. Okay. Again, for variance of developmental standard for Michael. Okay, my last name is Jeffert. We got that. To construct a pool, second accessory structure with a deck, and to the side of the home instead of the rear. The setback 3 feet from the property line instead of the minimum 10 feet. All right. This property is located at 212 Chickadee Trail, Michigan City, Springfield. Zone R1B. Petition number 12. Oh. There's no. Yeah.
Beautiful place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it right here.
It doesn't make any sense. The 3 feet doesn't look right.
No, this is adequate.
We got a question. Thank you. Name and address for the record, please.
Sure. Michael Jeffert, I'm at 212 Chickadee Trail in Michigan City.
And Mike, what did you want to do tonight?
We're seeking a variance to put a pool next to the house instead of behind the house.
Okay. 3 feet setback from the side property line?
That's the deck. The pool is actually not like 11 feet. And you guys have the map. So it's a flower bed, and then it'll be a
come to here. It looks like you have a wood fence and like a retaining wall planter fence.
Exactly.
The wood fence is the property line,
yeah.
And the deck's going to come up near the retaining wall.
Yeah, so the deck will be made out of flagstones, so it'll be drainage between the stones. So it'll be the swimming pool and
it's not a traditional wood deck.
No.
size pool is that?
10 by 30.
Are there any remonstrators here this evening for petition number 12? Remonstrators for petition number 12. Further questions, concerns of the board?
We never deal much with that, but I mean, is it going to be fenced or is it going to have a cover?
Well, we haven't finalized the plans, we'll probably have a cover. Yeah, there's already yard fence around the area as well.
Yeah, the regulation is the pool either be enclosed or it has an automatic cover and it doesn't have to have a fence. So,
okay. So we already have the fence in place.
Cover you walk to, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, we plan on putting the cover down, but
yeah,
the pool doesn't go until next spring, actually.
And the building, they inspect as they go.
Yeah, they'll look that over.
That's in the building regs.
Yeah. Further questions on the board? What's our pleasure, guys?
Thank you.
What do you think of a vote?
We have nobody.
No remonstrators.
Being 3 feet. I mean, again, normally accessory structure, we don't like to see a building being 3 feet, but a pool, I don't like to see that much.
And it's really not the pool itself.
It's really the deck, which is really
which is going to be
really a
stone.
deck.
Right.
It's patio.
Exactly, it's patio basically.
But this is the way it was presented, so
we clarify that though. It's not a wood deck set up.
No, it'll be flagstones between that retaining wall and the pool.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the petition for variance of developmental standards for Michael Jeffert to construct a pool structure and a deck to the side of his home instead of the rear. Setback is 3 feet from the property instead of the minimum of 10. Clarification on that is the setback of 3 feet is for the patio or stones that will be outside the pool area. This property is located at 212 Chickadee Trail in Michigan City, Indiana, Springfield Township, zoned R1B.
I have a motion with a second.
Second.
Any clarifications or concerns? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? There you go. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I thought about it. I didn't go there. All right. We're down to the final two. We're getting good here. Petition number 13 tonight. Petition for a variance of developmental standard for Robert and Sharon Swanson to keep the newly constructed pond on the property in the front yard, which encroaches upon the front yard setback by 7 feet at the closest point of the pond. The actual setback is 18 feet instead of the minimum 25 feet. This property is located at 6017 West Johnson Road, LaPorte, again in the Cool Spring Township, and it's a zoned R1B, and it's on a little over half acre. Petition number 13.
So, this is just real quick. I mean, just put a spare house is big. And a pool is pretty. Do they own both?
Yeah.
Just 2 lots.
Individual lot, right? There's a plate different.
And then I'm going to see there to show us why it's set that because I didn't see where the setback.
No, this is adequate.
Thank you.
Confusion on that.
Which is a great big potential. I mean, you got all the additions for the problem.
You go ahead and go to the mic. All right. Okay, name and address for the record, please.
Sharon Swanson, and 6017 West Johnson Road.
All right, Sharon. What are we trying to straighten out here tonight?
Basically, when we put the pond in, I did all the checking about, how to do it, make feed allowed, all this type of stuff. And there's a small part, like 6 or 8 feet, that is too close to the road. The rest of the pond is all in compliance. But it's that 6 or 8 feet that is the problem.
Tip of the pond?
Yeah, that's right where the little red mark is.
Tip of the pond.
Oh, there it is. You got that?
And that's like a rubber liner holding all that water in.
No, it's clay. It's clay. I went through my pictures as I did it, and yeah, it is clay. You know, actually, I have a picture of that too. I would guess, it's hard to tell from here. Can I take this up and show you?
You may approach.
Please.
Swing it, Mike.
Here's when we started. Okay. So you can see it's probably about, I'd say 6 feet deep maybe.
How much you build it?
Oh, why did I build it?
I said, why didn't you around the road?
No, you know, because we had such a problem with the water because of the trees being cut down. And so then I actually, here's a picture of even last winter, when I looked out my window, the bedroom window, you could see there was actually another pond being formed just with the water. And we had water, our driveway started getting mushy, and on the LaPorte side of our driveway was all wet constantly. We put 2 dump truck loads of dirt in there, and finally, it's okay. We put a drainage field in. You know, I did a lot of checking. Janet asked me when we started this how much it would cost probably. I thought, I have no idea. And she said $2,000. Well, you know, I learned a lot. But anyway, the drainage field is working, and the pond filled up instantly. I mean, it's just...
Well, if we had a little bit of rain, that would have helped.
Yeah, but we keep having rain. That's the other problem. You know, it's just so much. Anyway, so the whole thing boils down to, we tried to follow the rules, but that one little area got too close, and we were told to pull it back, so we pulled back the rest of the pond. And that's just about where it's at.
Let me see here. Before we get into it, are there any remonstrators here for petition number 13? Wait, we have a seat there for a second. Sure. You want to come up?
I'll take this down.
Chief Mr. Pike. That's what I think it is. We have to, Chief. Name and address for the record.
Mick Pollock. I live at 2656 North Tiffany Drive, LaPorte.
And your concern is?
I really don't have a problem with pond. None. I don't know exactly what the variance was for. I just got something in the mail. I mean, it more pertains to the county, does it not, instead of me? I mean...
Yes.
I'm just the parcel next to him.
Right.
Well, she just gave you notice in case you had any objections to it, really.
Okay, really don't. I don't know. Is there any specifications on how a pond needs to be built? I mean, is there any setbacks or? I don't know.
I think the issue is she's too far forward. She's within the setback from the road.
Okay,
that's what she's asking.
From the county's property, then, not my property.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Technically, I think Johnson owns it right away. I don't think the county owns it, but that would be from the center of the road. Yeah. Okay, but she's got it built so far away from the road, and she built too close.
Okay, yeah, because I personally have a problem with their pond. I really didn't know what the variance was all about. Right. It's just, you know, it said a 6 or 8 foot setback. I didn't know if it was supposed to be from my property line or if I don't know what the stipulations are on a pond. If you can go right up.
Well, she's got to build it within setbacks. So over there is what, 25 feet from the front?
Right. It was for the front setback. Front. Nothing to do with, you just got notified because you're a neighbor.
Okay. Yeah, all right.
Really doesn't have anything to do with your property, really.
No.
Okay. Your property.
You want to come up and look at this picture, it's probably that illustration that makes it clearest. One little corner of the pond, this will be on your side. You got closer to the road.
She had a nice picture. She's no more than 6 feet.
Let me get my glasses on. Car getting old.
That's what you're for. There's actually a ditch on the road that's going to stop it from the ditch road. Yeah. There's a ditch stop. Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't know if it was had to be so far from my property.
Drainage ditch here. It's big enough that it would probably impede the car from getting into it. It doesn't show that, I mean, there's a culvert under the driveway.
Yeah. That's up to, yeah. I thought the county would have to.
I guess that kind of shows.
I didn't know for sure.
This is what she's thinking.
All Yeah, like I say, I guess it's probably going to be another step.
Yeah, it's almost it's
Okay, thank you, Chief, appreciate it.
It's gonna have to really be flying to get to there.
Are there any other monsters tonight for petition number 11? Okay. Sharon, you may come back up.
You know, when you were talking about like the traffic, like we've had, people slide off the road all the time and they just go in the ditch. And if that would even happen, we have railroad ties like on this, here's the road, here's the ditch, railroad ties. And no cars have ever hit the railroad ties. I mean, they just go into the ditch. Then you're going to put the dirt from the pond. So we want like to hide it from the road. And by the time we plant stuff, it'll be more secluded.
It's quite secluded.
So, first they have the ditch, then the railroad ties, then the mounds of dirt. And it's not as deep as, you'd think. It's just, but there's a lot of stuff to stop a car. I mean,
the only, and it's not an issue that I can just for.
What's our jurisdictional issues I'm trying to figure out?
You're
7 foot over
you're
the
deciding that she's allowed to build within a setback. If there's any,
it's really the only issue is a setback. If there are any public safety issues, that would come up with the county, highway department, and/or sheriff's department. So we're only deciding if she can construct that beyond within the setback.
And Dwayne, the highway's been out there. They're okay.
Yeah, they're okay.
They're okay with it.
John Boyd say anything? John say anything?
John, no, I don't know about him.
Usually,
but the county highway was up there.
Well, I'll tell you, if Bob took a look at a county highway, the sheriff's going to go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been my experience.
I noticed you're still doing some work in the driveway. I drove into your driveway.
Oh my gosh!
And it's not. I mean, you can build your driveway any way you want, but I couldn't turn my truck around, and I don't like backing out on Johnson Road.
No, we have to. You have to do it from up in front. Like where the garage is.
I tried that.
You couldn't get back up either.
It took me like 5 turns.
Plus look at how.
I have a small truck.
But the problem is, we had 80 yards of limestone put in, but we have to have like another 100 put in to let. Yeah. So, like I said, Janet said maybe it'll cost $2,000, and I thought, but we do because like the driveway was mush. It was just.
Well, maybe concern making a T in there somewhere where you're still constructing, so that people can turn around for their safety.
It's a pain and I know even my husband is backing out, and that's so dangerous.
I wouldn't recommend that.
No, we have to do something with the driveway, honestly.
Well, if the county looked at it, it's okay with it.
They're okay with it.
From us to say anything.
MS4 is okay with it. Several people have been out there, so everything's okay.
Don't do it again.
Last time.
No, I won't.
All right.
I had no desire to do this to start with.
All that being said, what's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion that we allow the petition for variance of developmental standards for Robert and Sharon Swanson to be granted to keep the newly constructed pond on the front yard, which encroaches upon the front yard setback by 7 feet. Pond is located at the home and the property at 6017 West Johnson Road, LaPorte, Cool Spring Township.
The motion of a second.
Second.
Any questions or clarifications here? Be okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It'll be nice to have this to behind you. Thank you.
And petition number 14 this evening is a petition for a variance of developmental standard for Alberto and Melissa Gray for a temporary home to be placed while a permanent home is being built along with 1/2 acre pond. Upon completion of the home, the temporary home will be demolished and a pole barn will be built in its place to the side of the home instead of the rear as a secondary accessory with a bathroom. This property is located at 5849 South 700 West down in Union Mills, New Durham, and you have 5.17 acres. Petition number 14.
Somebody's trying to get their money's worth out of this.
Yeah, I heard that.
sack.
Thank you.
One big empty lot.
Hi, name and address for the record, please.
Melissa and Alberto.
Just speak up, please.
Melissa and Alberto Garay, and our address is 1904 I Street in LaPorte. But the the property that we're going to be building at is, we just purchased it. It's 5849. We just bought it. 5849 South 700 West in Union Mills.
5849.
5849 West. 700 West.
Right, 700 West.
Okay. All right. Yes, yeah. What is the temporary that you talk about building?
We're actually going to get like a mobile home or a modular home and put it on a slab.
Oh.
A concrete slab, and then we're gonna build a home to the left of where the temporary home is, and then we're going to build a pond even further, and
see how wet that is.
Then we'll get rid of the temporary home and put the pole barn there.
How long?
How long do you think it'll take you to do this?
Well, we were hoping that we could be granted a 3-year variance. It's not going to be there forever. I know that we can't have 2 homes on.
I'm not so much worried about that. About moving in a mobile home.
About what?
Moving in a mobile home and leaving it there, and then in 3 years you come back because you can't build your other house, and I need another variance, and you're there for 6 years. If you put a mobile home in there.
If we build a mobile home?
No, we can.
Right.
So you usually want mobile homes to be in mobile home parks.
Well, it's not like a trailer. It's not going to be a trailer.
Okay.
You're actually going to put a modular home on a foundation.
Yes, it's going to be like a double-wide mobile home.
No mobile home.
Not mobile home.
No.
Modular. You're going to quite a bit of an expense.
I'm trying to.
Well, we found one, but we're not telling the lady if we're going to get it because it depends on what happens.
Is it a used one or something?
It's used. We're not going to get a brand new one and then,
You don't want to get a brand new one and tear it down in 3 years.
Right.
It's a brand new what? Mobile home or modular home?
It's a modular home.
Modular home.
We was thinking too that we can this decent. We can put it like on a slab for now.
Put it on a slab rather than on a foundation.
For now.
No, it's going to be on concrete.
Slab.
That's called slab.
Right.
And so that we get some money, and then we can build the basement. Then we can put them in there, and then we can use the slab later on for the pole barn. So we can do that too.
Oh yeah. Let me rephrase this. I think. So you want to get a mobile home, a slab. I mean, you want to get a modular home and put it on a slab.
Yeah.
Then you're going to save up some money, and then you want to put a basement in. Then you want to pick up that modular and put it over the top of that new one.
Yeah. Because you're a little confused about mobile homes and micro homes.
But we have to build the property up, so we have to start doing the pond so we can pull the dirt.
Bring the fill in.
Yeah.
Right.
Did I capture that correct?
Yes.
And I'm trying to think.
Never heard this request before.
I know. I'm trying to think because that's. But then you can come back here in 3 years and say you can't do it. Now you're going to be stuck with 6 years to have that home there. And we don't allow that.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, have the building inspectors looked at this plan?
No.
This is a unique plan.
Right.
Right. It's a big request.
If I might, Mr. Chairman, perhaps the building building inspectors could talk with these folks, look at the property, understand what it is they're going to do.
Okay.
And it seems to me, before the board were to grant a variance, to make sure this is feasible.
Yeah.
There are a lot of problems with it because if you're going to put it on a slab, that means you're going to have to put plumbing in the slab to bring the water into the home.
Yeah.
That's why people put them on a foundation with a crawl space. Right. Then the pipes are all protected.
It was actually Janet is the one that I was talking to about this, and he had wanted to put it on a crawl space, but she said that it would be better to put it on the slab so that when we build the pole barn in that place, that we already have the concrete foundation for that.
Oh, for a bathroom and everything else.
And we are going to have, like the bathroom facilities in the pole barn. So.
What was that on the variance too?
It should be because.
But then you're going to want to save enough money to put a foundation in on the other side to pick this up and put it on top of that then.
I'm sorry, to do what?
Wow.
So your intent is to, this is going to be your home.
Yeah.
This modular is going to be your home. When everything works out, go from the slab, go to the port foundation, and then place it on there, and that will be your permanent.
But we have to build the basement first.
We understand. Yeah. But you're using the same building for twice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And the reason why you want to pour a slab and do it instead of putting a foundation around the bed is because it's expense?
So we can use that.
That's for
the future for the port barn.
I'll have the inspectors talk to them.
I understand what
you're saying.
They're looking at the concrete as not being a real expense because it's going to be used again.
But I would just do it the other way.
When I was out there, I didn't see anything that indicated where the house was going to go, where, it's just an empty lot. So, and I think you found the same thing when you went out, correct?
I didn't see a stake anywhere.
We don't see stakes.
No, nothing.
So, could you live with it? We gave you a continuance so that you could get some idea of where you're going to pull dirt from for the pond, where you're going to put the slab, where you intend to build the basement, so that she can actually bring us a drawing so that we can see this, and then you should itemize step 1, slab, step 2, set the modular on it, step 3, dig a basement, step 4, set the modular on the basement, step 5, do the pole barn where the slab was. Follow what I'm saying? So step by step by step, and she can follow that.
Well, I think I like what Doug's advice. Maybe have the building inspectors talk to them.
I have a worry. I mean, if I may, I have a worry that what you're doing is very unique. I've never heard this done before, but I have a worry that something's going to go wrong. Or I think if the building inspector looks at it, make sure it's a valid plan.
Yeah.
That they're not going to have a problem when they go to move the house onto the foundation or something like that, and they've invested all this money.
Right.
So, as a board, we have the authority to waive our 6-month requirement for them to come back. We can just say we're continuing this case until they can get this put together and come back to us, correct?
Yes, you can continue it indefinitely, but if you reset, they're going to have to give notice on the reset.
Right.
Because since we're not setting it to a date certain, unless you want to pick a date certain 6 months down the road.
I'm entering my signature tonight for petition number 14. Okay, you guys want to have a seat? And maybe I can hear what's going on here. Name and address for the record, please.
Dennis S. Hiska, 5876 South 700 West. Right across the road from when they sold all that land, that was farmland before, the realtor told us at that time that there would not be any modulars, they were going to be all stick-built homes. Well, out of the 5 that they did put up, on six, one of them is stick-built, the rest are all modulars. And now, I have nothing against you guys building, but putting a pole barn right onto the house, that don't sound right. I got outbuildings, and I got them in back. I mean, that just wouldn't look right. And did you do any soil samples?
Yes.
And it's good enough to build a house on?
John
Because you're about the 4th person in 10 years that had that property. So something's wrong somewhere. They keep selling it. How about septic?
That's going to be
a mound system.
No, it's going to be gravity flow.
was, I don't know if you got a picture of the place or not, but there's a little barn out there on it. At times, there's been water 20 feet west of that barn. That's how wet that property is. If you go out onto the part where they want to put a pond, I think it's on the west end or north end, you can go out there and jump and go like this. It's all peat moss. I don't see how anybody can build on that.
I don't know how you could put in a basement.
I mean, I hate to see you guys spend all that money.
That's just it.
I mean, we don't mind having a family there, but it's just, I just don't know.
4 people have had that land the last 10 years, and they got rid of it. There's a reason.
You're right. I suggest, like as a council has recommended wisely, to speak with the building inspector and get someone with some knowledge and for a plan put together, because this could get very costly real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, very costly.
I'd like to know about where that
where the house is.
That's what I'm suggesting. That should be staked out.
Yeah.
So that we can see it on here. We can put it on our aerial view and see where the house is going to be, where the
pole barn is.
And the other thing I want you guys to know before you do build out is you got shooters on 4 sides of you.
Everybody shoots out there. So if they're going out there for peace.
There's a guy in the woods to the east. That's got a house that's right at the end of your property. He just moved in. He's afraid to shoot. You got another one down the road out there.
Yes, I think there's a couple police officers lives out there that shoots too.
There'll be a lot of noise all the time.
Well, there might be
there shouldn't be.
Do something with one guy did
yeah.
I think we should.
We're going to have to table it. Anything else you want to bring up for the concerns?
No, I just like to know where the house is going
We
to sit.
appreciate that.
And so we see if they can put the pole barn in back like it should be instead of alongside of it.
Yeah. See, we've lived there for 46 years, and our house looks like a park. I mean, everything is immaculate. We've taken care of it. We don't have a problem having family there at all. It's just, I'd rather not have a pole
it's
barn.
more security for us if we've been broken into twice.
Right. It'd be more security if we had somebody over there. So that's not the problem.
I just don't want to see them lose a bunch of money putting something in a piece of property that isn't going to hold it.
All right. Appreciate that.
Right.
The house.
All right, that's okay. You got to come back to the mic then. All right.
And you said you want to put a basement in too?
Is that all you guys got then?
I don't see how.
I don't know how they could put a basement in.
If that's all you got, we'll bring them back up here again and then get their answers. So thank you. All right. You guys come back up to the mic now. So there's a whole array of questions that go with this thing here. So I think the best bet would be for you to get some legal representation to look at this thing, and then get some builders and the planning our board commissioners.
The property has to be built up before we can build on it. It has to be built up about 5 feet.
Right. Well, and you need a soils person in there. You need, like Doug said, you need to have the building inspectors come out, because if they're right, if that's peat down there that you're going to dig in a pond, you're not going to get any soil that's going to work for a foundation. No. You have to find, compaction sand.
We already had soil tests.
Well, a soil test is for your septic field.
Yeah.
You're going to build a foundation.
Well, he said that we could build there. He said that the walkout basement that we were planning to do, it was, what's his name, John McQuestion?
Did he put that in writing?
There's quite a bit of fall from the road. I mean, they're probably...
It's in the, it's on the report that he did. I don't have it, though. I don't have the report.
What he did with the soil report, he didn't tell you that you could build there, or he didn't tell you what the conditions were for a walkout basement. He might have told you personally, but he wouldn't put that in the soil report, because that has nothing to do with building a house. It's just for your septic field. So what they're trying to tell you here is kind of listen to what they're saying, and it would behoove you to have the inspectors come out, maybe even have somebody come out with a backbone, do some serious digging to see what is actually going on in that ground. Because if your neighbors are correct, you're going to have issues if it's all peat.
You're going to have to bring fill in from another location.
Right.
I think that's what you were thinking, is you could just dig a pond and use that
part of it
as the fill, which if it's peat moss, that won't work.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, if they've been out there 40 years, they probably know what it is.
My whole back property.
Yeah. So, and peat moss is not going to, the best example I can give you is...
And I can tell you that the pole barn, I can tell you like where it's going to begin, like how many feet in. It's going to be 66 feet from the center of the road. It's going to be, the pole barn is going to start 120 feet in from the side of our property.
Both sides.
The side that would...
Yeah, you got the horse way in front of your cart here, too far up. So the board, we got to make a decision we're going to do this.
I think it would be best for everybody if we just did a continuance, and then you came up with a
game plan.
Gave us a real site plan, and then you knew, what you needed to do it so you could fulfill it. That's what I think.
So we just forget about payment, and then we just put like a crossway.
Well, it's also a decision you guys have to make when you meet with the inspectors.
All this advice is for your own good.
Yeah.
Really.
So how long should we continue this for?
Payment, we just do like a
30, 60 days?
I think it's 60 or 90 days.
60 or 90 days will be better.
To come back?
Yeah.
You don't have to refile.
Your homework done.
You just are going to come back in 60 days.
Well, as soon as we can, so 60.
Okay.
Because, I went to...
You're going to have a site plan with elevations?
Yes.
So we know, and you know what you're going to have involved in it.
Yes.
Do you have a builder?
We are going to try to do the building, some of it, and we have a lot of friends that own businesses, so that can do a lot of the work.
Okay.
Let's make a motion and
make a motion that we continue this 60 days from today. Our next meeting is we'll continue this to the August 20th meeting. Okay.
Sound good?
Yep.
I have a motion of a second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Thank you. We'll see you in 60 days. Okay, just to make sure we're clear here, petition number 3 is Judith here. Petition number 3.
I have comments on that.
Yes.
I believe that woman called earlier in the week and talked about withdrawing, but she never called back to confirm whether she would be or not.
We'll just table it.
Let's continue to next month.
Sure.
And we'll find out.
And then just find out. Okay. You can always take it off the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
All in favor of that signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right. Thanks everybody for the meeting. Do we have any announcements important?
No, sir.
Any announcements or anything for us?
No.
Okay. If not, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you, everybody.